Now at 10, the high-tech way officers are learning how to respond to high-speed chases, hoping to save innocent lives.
Plus, how in the world did this happen? The scary predicament for this dog and how neighbors work together to save it.
And new in Houston, tattoos that you can hear, how it works and where you can get one. Up first tonight, high-speed police chases happen far too often on Houston highways, putting your life at risk.
There have been 4 chases in our area in the past 2 weeks. Now there's a high-tech tool being used to keep our streets safer.
Lauren Tallarico is live on the road to explain for us. Lauren?
Well, right now we are driving on I-45 South, heading toward Galveston, and say you're like us, simply minding your own business, trying to get from point A to B like we are right now, and you find yourself caught up in a high-speed pursuit. It happens all the time, which is why law enforcement is taking extra steps, trying to make sure their officers are as prepared as possible. You've seen them over and over. High-speed pursuits that sometimes end in tragedy. Since 1979, more than 11,000 people have died. Almost half were not the fleeing driver.
Why are they fleeing from the law enforcement in the first place?
Galveston County Sheriff Henry Trocheset says although they can't let these drivers go, they can train. HPD does so in their own special facilities, but smaller agencies like Galveston rely on something else.
I've been doing this for almost 13 years, and I see a great improvement.
Don Courtney with Texas Association of Counties
They just shot at me.
Goes from department to department, allowing officers to practice in this simulator.
Is this person going to jump out with a weapon? Are they going to take hostages?
Now, this may look like a game, but every detail is designed to make the officer feel like they are in the real world. From the seatbelt to the blinker, even the air conditioner. When you're trying to simulate a life and death situation, every detail matters.
Clearing traffic lane by lane.
Because in these situations, on-the-job training should be the last option.
I mean, not only is it the safety of the public, but it's our safety as well.
The officers also train on texting and driving, roadway conditions, even driving without brakes because, you know, when it comes to keeping our roadways safe, there is absolutely no such thing as too much practice. Len?
Well, that's impressive. You never know when you're going to see another chase in our area. Thank you, Lauren. New tonight, a teenager in Porte is being investigated for allegedly making a terroristic threat. It was made against Lomax Junior High, and the district tells us someone alerted school officials who then called police, as well as the student's parents. We don't know the nature of the threat or if the student is facing any charges tonight.
And also tonight, deputies in Montgomery County want you to take a very close look at this dash cam video. They're searching for a couple of guys who targeted a pizza delivery driver in Magnolia. It started as a prank call. The 22-year-old showed up at a house where no one ordered a pizza, so she left. But then a black Chevy Tahoe approaches from the other end of the road and blocks it off. 2 men jump out. One of them had a gun. The young woman put the car in reverse, and one man fired 2 shots at her vehicle.
She just wanted to get somewhere and hide. You know, high-speed driving is not what she's good at or getting away, and she wanted to get somewhere and hide and get help as fast as she could.
The driver was not hurt. The guys were wearing masks, but detectives are really hoping someone out there can help them identify the guys.
Tonight, President Donald Trump signed a proclamation to send National Guard troops to the border. In a memo to the Secretary of Defense and Homeland Security, the president says the situation at the border has now reached, quote, a point of crisis. Troops will help with surveillance, but not apprehensions. They can't do that legally. Guard troops could begin heading to the border, we're told, within hours.
It will be strong. It will be as many as is needed to fill the gaps that we have today.
All of this comes as the president expresses frustration with Congress for not fully funding his border wall. Other presidents, by the way, have deployed the National Guard to help along the border.
Life after Harvey isn't just about rebuilding. It can also be punishment for looters who took advantage of people and places of business. This guy stole more than $5,000 worth of electronics and cigarettes from a Walmart store that was closed during the storm. An officer happened to be driving by and caught him in the act of loading up his van. Today, a jury convicted Thomas Gamelin of burglary. Then the judge sentenced him to 20 years in prison. He was on parole at the time of the crime. Houston is changing as we continue life after Harvey. New homes that are built in floodplains will now have to be built higher. City Council passed tougher rules today for home construction inside floodplains. Right now, Houston only regulates new homes that are built in the 100-year floodplain, but starting this September, homes and businesses in the 500-year floodplain zone need to be built 2 feet above flood level.
We're not going to be strangle, and we're not going to say no. What we did today was, I think, was a very balanced approach that was constructive.
Well, not everyone was on board. Some council members wanted to wait until the new flood maps were drawn, but Mayor Turner said the city simply could not wait any longer.
Right now, there are still about 100 customers, not bad, without power in Bel Air. That's after last night's fast-moving storms. But CenterPoint Energy expects it'll all be restored by midnight. Strong winds caused a hangar to collapse at Harvey Airport. Several private planes were damaged. Luckily, no one was in that building at the time.
Once those storms cleared, we enjoyed a picture-perfect day today. Brooks, what can we expect tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow we're going to see slowly increasing clouds and a chance for some showers before the close of business tomorrow. But right now, another beautiful night. Boy, it is cool outside, though, with the winds. Here's a live view, Matagorda Bay. Water there looking nice, illuminated with those lights. It's 55 right now in Huntsville, 50 in Conroe. In Palacios, closer to Matagorda Bay, 67 degrees. In Houston, it's 60 right now. Temperatures running about 10 to 15 degrees colder right now than they were this time yesterday, so certainly a fresh feel. No rain to show you on the radar. We've got some clouds moving in and more of them on the way for tomorrow morning. But by afternoon, about a 30% chance for some showers working into the region. We'll see a high tomorrow around 74 degrees. So our forecast featuring overall nice weather for one more day. Then I'm tracking some big storms by the end of the week.
Tonight, we remember as we take a live look now at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis. It is the place where 50 years ago today, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. It is now the National Civil Rights Museum, a place of education and healing.
And at King's Crypt in Atlanta this evening, family members rang a bell 39 times to represent the civil rights leader's age when he died. They also spoke about what we can do to carry on his legacy.
And that is in Washington, D.C., where bells tolled at the National Cathedral to mark the exact moment of Dr. King's death. Tonight, people are also leaving flowers at his monument in the nation's capital. And we're hearing from 5 Houstonians who are being honored for their work in civil rights.
Levi Ismail is live at Jones Hall, where they gathered for a concert against hate. Levi?
Well, the honorees included judges, people of the church, and even FBI agents. As you can imagine, there are plenty of differences between all of those groups. But tonight, one common thread, not wanting to see Dr. King's legacy forgotten.
There's a lot we can learn from even a simple melody. One note can stand alone as one sound, but music needs variety. Each note different, but just as important as the next. Tonight, they're inspired by the many voices who call Houston home and those who've continued the work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
It cannot be forgotten, and it cannot be understated.
The Anti-Defamation League tonight honors 5 agents of change. They're judges, FBI agents, people of the church, and organizers working against inequality across Houston.
Civil rights is all-encompassing.
Today marks 50 years since that fateful day in Memphis and the tragedy that cut Dr. King's life short, a day these honorees won't forget.
It was a turning point in the lives of many people.
Honoree Sister Jane Meyer took that inspiration back to her schools.
We were helping to form minds and expand hearts. beyond boundaries.
Now, a lot has happened in 50 years, and the growing fear now is whether young people will remember who got us here.
We've got newer and newer generations of kids that don't know who Dr. King is and that should know what he taught and what he stood for.
But around the country, young people are mobilizing for change.
That, I think, is in one sense a continuation of the legacy of Dr. King, because Dr. King was addressing injustice at a time when it was rampant.
Now, other recipients include former Harris County Sheriff Adrian Garcia and also Judge Phyllis Fry, who was the first openly transgender judge in the United States. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much.
Still I rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise.
Such phenomenal words.
Isn't it?
Also being honored today is poet and civil rights activist Maya Angelou. Google dedicated its home screen to her on what would have been her 90th birthday. When you click on the doodle, you hear her and various other stars read one of her famous poems, Still I Rise.
I ran into her at an airport once, and I thought I was going to faint. I was so excited.
Oh my, I'd be so starstruck as well. Still ahead, neighbors rush to help a dog in a very bizarre predicament.
Yeah, see this for yourself. We'll tell you where it happened, and we talked to neighbors who rushed in to help.
Tattoos aren't just meant to be seen anymore. We're taking you to the first tattoo shop in Houston that's creating tattoos you can hear.
And this would scare the you-know-what out of most of us, but for these officers, well, it's just another day on the job.